Happy Sunday, everyone, and I'm Emily Ruth, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. So this video, I was going to do a live, but unfortunately YouTube is funny, so it's gonna have to be next week. So today, I'm going to be doing a drawing that's gonna be an inspiration of my next tattoo, but how I came about that tattoo. Now, I had a dream, as we all do, about this tattoo, actually. My very first tattoo, and this is the only tattoo that I have, I actually drew it myself. Fun fact, I was just envisioning one day a flower, it's a wildflower, and I drew it, and I realized, like, that's gonna be my first tattoo, not really knowing until like a year later that it was it. But anyway, so there's like, no one can really tell, right? But there's like one part in my tattoo that the outlining got kind of messed up, which is perfectly okay because, you know, things happen, right? And so in this dream, I was with my mom at this tattoo shop, and which is weird because my mom doesn't really do tattoos like that. So we went to this tattoo shop, and in the dream, I was like, okay, I got this tattoo, I want to cover it up. My first tattoo, I want to cover it up. And so we went, and the people that were there was two people, they wanted to cover it up, and they wanted to do like this vampire wolf thing, and I was like, not really into it. It was like kind of sexual, and I was like, it's not my thing. So then they're like, okay. So they sketched out a different one. It was like this Wizard of Oz type thing. I don't remember how it looked like, but it was like Wizard of Oz. It had like, it was like cartoony, so it was like 4. I don't know how you would fit that on my arm, but you know. So then I was like, I really don't want to cover up my tattoo or anything like that. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just think of something else. And I was like, I'd rather incorporate it, but they were like, nah. So they drew up this tattoo, and it was a phoenix. And in the phoenix, there was fire behind it. And in the fire behind it, which was more of like a yellowy orange, there was outlines in the fire. So it wasn't like dark or anything, but there was outline of a dragon, a fairy, and like some ET type beings, like aliens. I was like, wow, that's pretty freaking dope. And they were fitting it over my arm, which is like small, as I said. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So, and I was like, they went to talk about dragons and like how white dragons were like, you know, not rare, like not normal. It's not something they usually see. And I was like, oh, I do something part-time, but I'm also a medium, and I met a white dragon recently. If y'all saw my short video last week, I had a picture of this white dragon that I met, and I was telling them about that, and I was telling them about the YouTube and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, tell me about that. And I was like, oh, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And they were like, she gave in so easily. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, here's what my YouTube's for. And really my business, in a sense, is more for my mission is to help people have the experience and tools they need to trust themselves. And they were like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. So then I talked about more about what I did and yada, yada, yada. And they're like, wow. And so then I ended up sitting on the couch when they were about to fit me for this new tattoo, and on the couch was some kids' underwear, my clothes, some more kids' shirts, and he was like, oh, sorry, like they had to put that in there, haha. And I'm like, okay. And then that was my dream. So with that being said, I feel like when I talked about this dream to when I was meditating to my higher self, I think this was a test to like see if I would really live my truth. So, and I've been speaking my truth more, so that's always nice. But when I was thinking about what to do for this video today, I pulled some cards, as always, and the first thing that popped out was a phoenix. And it's renewal, And then I had a manta ray, which is presence, and ladybug, which is luck. So that's like your child sets wonder, like doing, you know, your childhood things, your inner child. And that is to each in its own, like, be present in this moment and take what you want from it. And renewal, like new energy, stuff like that, which is interesting because I've been getting a lot of messages about new energy. So with that being said, I'm gonna draw my tattoo, and hopefully this time lapse work. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be real sad, but it'll be okay because you'll get to see the drawing either way. So yeah, I'm gonna put on these headphones, and I'm gonna set my camera up to where you'll be able to see it all.